Okay, let's jump right in. Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really getting into the weeds on the Greater Toronto Area real estate market, specifically what went down in May 2025.
Right. We've got some really solid reports here to work with, including some materials put together by Brad Cox,
Hmm?
the real estate agent with the Heath Sestrin team.
Exactly. And our goal really is to pull out the key stuff for you, the things you actually need to know to understand the market landscape right now.
Yeah, think of it as uh, cutting through the noise,
Yeah.
getting past the big headlines. And what jumps out immediately, looking at May 2025 versus, say, May 2024, is what looks like a clear benefit for home buyers this year.
A benefit. Okay, tell me more. Because, sometimes the headlines don't quite capture the whole picture.
No, they often don't. The reports are pretty clear. There was a definite improvement in affordability compared to last year. And it seems to boil down to two main things. One, more homes hitting the market, increased inventory. And two, just, well, fewer sales happening.
Ah, okay. So buyers in May weren't facing quite the same frenzy. More options, maybe a bit more breathing room. The numbers seem to show that pretty strongly. Sales down, what was it?
Yeah, significantly. Down 13.3% compared to May of last year. That's a big drop.
13.3. Wow.
And at the same time, you saw new listings climb, up 14% year over year.
Okay, so fewer sales, more listings, that classic supply-demand shift.
Exactly. It's that dynamic that really tips the scales a bit more towards buyers.
Yeah.
Alekia Berry-Sproul, the TRAB president, that's the Toronto board, she actually pointed this out, acknowledging the improved conditions for buyers.
Makes sense. But she also flags something important, right, about it not being the same everywhere. You still need good advice.
Absolutely. Even when the overall market shifts, real estate is still local, neighborhoods differ, and having someone who really knows the specific area, who has the right tools, maybe access to exclusive or off-market properties, that's huge.
Right, that bespoke experience.
Precisely. It's like the approach Brad Cox emphasizes, really listening to what you need, guiding you, maybe finding those opportunities others don't see. That kind of tailored guidance is key when things are complex like this. It's why his reports are helpful. They give you that insight.
Okay, so that's the year-over-year picture. More choice, better affordability compared to last May. But what about just looking from April to May this year? Was it the same story?
Not exactly. A little different. The reports actually show sales ticked up for the second month straight if you look at the seasonally
Yeah.
adjusted numbers.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and new listings were also up month over month, but not quite as fast as sales were climbing. So things tightened up just a little bit in May compared to April. April had a real surge in liftings.
So still way different than last year, but a slight shift from April to May. What about prices then?
Okay, price. The average selling price came in at $11,120,879. That was actually down 4% from last May.
Down 4% year over year.
Correct. And the MLS Home Price Index benchmark, which smooths things out a bit, that was down 4.5% year over year. But mirroring that month-over-month sales trend, both the average price and the HPI did nudge up slightly from April to May.
Okay, so here's the puzzle then. If affordability got better compared to last year, and borrowing costs were apparently lower too, why were sales down so much overall? What's holding buyers back?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And this is where the experts weigh in. Jason Mercer, he's TRAB's Chief Information Officer. He points his finger squarely at, well, economic confidence, or lack thereof.
Uncertainty.
Yeah. He suggests households are just kind of hesitant, waiting for things to feel more stable, maybe clearer signals on trade, especially with the U.S. He also thinks more cuts to borrowing costs are needed to really get sales moving again.
Right. That makes sense. Even if the numbers look okay on paper, that broader feeling of economic unease can really put the brakes on big decisions like buying a home.
Exactly. And then you have John DeMichelle, the PREB CEO, adding another angle. He's looking more at the policy side.
What's his take?
He's basically calling for government to move beyond just talk. He wants concrete action like lowering housing taxes and fees.
Okay.
And really pushing for a faster building, embracing new construction methods, cutting red tape on approvals. He links it back to the economy too, saying more building helps everyone.
And I assume he's also in favor of rate cuts.
Oh, definitely. He welcomed potential rate cuts, seeing them as pretty crucial, especially for first-time buyers or people renewing mortgages soon.
So summing it up then, May looked better for buyers than a year ago. More listings, slightly lower prices. But the actual activity, the number of sales, is being held back by these bigger things. Shaky economic confidence and maybe a need for more supportive government policies.
That seems to be the core tension right now. It really does raise an interesting question for anyone thinking about the market.
It absolutely does. And maybe that's the thought to leave you with. Considering what the experts are saying about economic confidence and government action, how much should those big macro forces influence your personal timing, your own approach to the real estate market right now?